for this session. Yes, all right. So we have the fortune of being Professor Wen. Thank you. Please just because of time. Okay. The profile is up there. You can see. I've read his profile earlier. They're joining us now. Yes, thank you. Welcome. Okay, so we're looking at unlocking scholarships and financial aid. Particularly, I'll start with Mr. Ajayi. And the reason is he spoke about AFCTA, opportunities earlier. So tell us, what are these opportunities that are available for students, these global students? They can access these opportunities, particularly loans.
Okay, thank you very much. Okay, let me start with those who need loan to go abroad. For those who need loan to go abroad, the kind of loan we have is actually for those who can afford it, those who take, for instance, their parents. For the students, their parents can get loans for them. We have different products for them. We have consumer lending, we have consumer loans for them. Based on the salary, they can get that up to 50 million and above. They can get that to be able to do. But what I want to major really on is for those who are studying and they are academics, you understand they're coming back. What opportunities are there in Africa, not just in Nigeria, that we can work with them on. The AFCFTA that I said before, that partnership, I call it Africa Continental Free Trade Area, is an area consisting of 54 countries in Africa. They've come together to work together to reduce all the impediments around trade in Africa and to be able to ensure that we are able to trade amongst ourselves. The statistics that we have is that if you look at the total volume of trade in Africa, in the total volume of trade, you realize that only about 12 to 16% are the ones that you see between an African country and a counterpart in another African country. All the remaining, which is about 82 to 86, is between an African business owner and a counterpart outside Africa. We want to be able to increase that to 50%. Therefore, that's the reason why we have that 6 billion partnership to be able to give loans to SMEs across Africa. But we are focusing on 4 different sectors. That means if you are coming back, if you are within these 4 different sectors, you will be able to have good money to be able to run businesses in this area. The first one is pharmaceuticals. If you remember what happened during the COVID period, while we are at the mercy of countries outside Africa for them to be able to help us, we don't want that to happen again in Africa. Therefore, within that value chain of pharmaceuticals, we will be able to get loans across the different countries where UBA is present to be able to run businesses within that sector. That's one. The second one is automotive. Automotive, we have a lot of countries within Africa where you have original equipment manufacturers coming from outside Africa to be able to establish assembly plants. Don't bring all the parts from outside Africa. We want to be able to see somebody, a business that is into upholstery, they're doing furniture, you understand? We want them to be able to do the furniture inside our car, the chairs and all that. It's not that everything around the car will be imported. You understand? And that's the system China used, and that's what we are using across Africa, where UBA is represented. Therefore, if you are within the value chain of automotive, maybe you are doing engine oil, you are working on engine oil, you should be able to have access to this loan. Or you are recycling tires, just tires, vehicle tires, you'll be able to have access. Let me come back home now to the one that resonates more with people in Oyo State. I mean, if you are in agro processing, that's the third sector. agro-processing, you should be able to get this loan. What I mean by agro-processing is everything that has to do with, after you get the products from the farm, maybe you are exporting, if you are exporting cocoa today, or you are exporting, let's say, cashew, you can have enough money to be able to export. But beyond that, you can have value. Let me just give you this simple story. When I graduated from my university, one of my colleagues went abroad, also did further his study, and he came back to Jakarta to Nigeria to work in an investment banking boutique. Then while going through some of the transactions, they had big ticket transactions for exporters, he realized he just compared the cost of the price of a ton of cashew, raw cashew in Nigeria, in the international market, to the processed cashew. When he saw the big difference, you know what he did? He just got one of his friends who bought the equipment. That equipment was about $100,000. And that's how these guys started making processed cashew. He had to resign from his banking where he was heavily paid. And now he's up there just exporting processed cashew instead of raw cashew. These are the kind of empowerment we want to bring. Therefore, we are willing to give up to $150,000 to these businesses, some of these exporters who want to move up the value chain. We want to just be doing only on processed one, you can move up. We want to do that for them within the agro processing. Take for instance, people who are there, you know the kind of import bill we have on some of our products like rice. If you know the import bill on rice alone in here, if you have something the first sector is we are looking at transport and logistics. You can't talk about trade within Africa without talking about transport. How do you want to move goods from one country to another? How do you want to be able to ensure logistical support for
their colleagues or their friends in the field, so that they can work on the research together. So all these 10 papers for the scholarship, then they can gain free tuition. So that's the requirement for the PhD scholarship. So in another way, just now I did mention when you study in Malaysia, when you graduate, you will get the degree from Coventry University and also degree from INTI. So but you are paying
these loans. There are ways they can navigate their ways around and get these loans and these scholarship opportunities.
Thank you, Joe. What made it easy now to get information. But beyond that, there are on the stick some of these bodies that offer scholarship. And I'm very certain that CITSIL also has some links to help students navigate the issue of getting scholarships. So if you contact the officers of CITSIL, they are out there. They have scholarship opportunities with organizations that do offer loans for students to study abroad. And of course, like I said earlier, technology will also assist you in getting information about organizations that offer loans. And UBA, first time also mentioned that.
Thank you very much. Let me come to the essay to also help us. Is there a way to also access these scholarships and funding?
Thank you. You see the time once you come around to link up in the office to seek scholarship and opportunities for funding for foreign academic pursuit. And most of the time the challenge we have is because the enacted law in Oyo State brought about the Oyo State Scholarship Board says that scholarship will only be available for students who want to study courses that cannot be found in Nigeria. So for example, you can't come to the Oyo State Scholarship Board and say, oh, I want to go do a master's in computer science, when in a lot of various institutions in Nigeria can get such training. But currently, unfortunately, I really wanted, I thought the speaker was going to be around till this point in time. We're already looking at how the laws can be changed, where it would be only courses that are just domiciled in Nigeria that you can have access to scholarship from the Oyo State government. Because for in Oyo State, the government of Oyo State wants to do a lot to sponsor Nigerian students to go abroad for foreign education. But because it's a system, it comes back to the scholarship law. And then because it's already a law that guides the body, you cannot go out of that structure. So what the government of Oyo State has done in time past is to sponsor Oyo State students who are going for the law school, we provide law school scholarships for them. Recently, the government approved payment of bursary and scholarship for Oyo State in the various institutions in Nigeria. Unfortunately, also, the law also says that you have to be final year students alone that can get access to such scholarship, which also causes, because you have people who want to study, before going people to the issue of studying abroad, who also want to study in the country, but they don't have access to funds. The scholarship will say, okay, the only opportunity for you is that you're a final year student. We also see in the law that there are also challenges with what type of students, saying that you're either a polytechnic student or a university student. So it takes off the student to the colleges of education, which also affects them having access to scholarship and funding. But I know that the office is currently working with, we are going to be partnering with the organizers of this event to see that when there are scholarship opportunities for students, the office can, work with them as the contact before the scholarship board to see that we can help students go to the scholarship board, come to our, so we have part of applications from students saying, oh, we need sponsorship, we need this, we need that, and when we write to the scholarship board, they say, oh, this is the challenge. So we are going to be working on the laws to see that the laws are improved upon, and we are also going to work with organizations like the organizer of this event to see that we have a link between students and opportunities for scholarship to travel abroad, to study abroad. And when I was having my meeting with one of the organizers, there's going to be a privilege for your students through our office to tap into the Malaysian scholarship process. So we are going to work with them to see that Oyo State students get this opportunity. We're also working with the Ministry of Education, Federal Ministry of Education, on scholarships that come through. Because you see, I discovered that I have friends who studied in the Ukraine, in Russia, and some other countries of the world, paid a fee, and they were all federal government scholarships. Many of these people, if you ask, is either their parents are directors in the federal ministry and they have access to this information first, or people who have someone who could link them up to get this information. So we will be working also to see that we can get first-hand information and pass it on to Oyo State students so that they can have access to foreign scholarships sponsored organizations.
Thank you very much. I'm going to call for him and now he's doing a lot. Prof, I'm coming back to you before I go on to the very good evening. One of the things that
Thank you. It's actually very essential because part of the requirement for scholarships is for you to graduate with the people, especially for those who are going out for masters and for PhDs. Before a second class goer student is considered, first class have been taken and then 2-1. So my word or advice for students who are aspiring to go abroad is to ensure that you graduate with good grades. That will help a lot in getting scholarships. One of my students that finished from engineering that I just graduated last year, he didn't have to struggle. He had about 4 or 5 in school of the years because he graduated in the first class. When you finish with good grades, first class, 1-to-1, you will have opportunities that you have to do it for. You don't have to struggle for it. So ensure you study hard and then you come out with a good grade. That will enhance your scholarship opportunities that you can access.
Thank you very much, Mami. I wanted her to re-emphasize that because a lot of people are not looking at that area. It opens you up to a lot of opportunities. But unfortunately, if it is there, it is still online, you can take it, but unfortunately, it is online. I'm told that somebody came to me and said it was online, so she's online. She's there. She's not. Okay, I think. So let me take your last comment. If you have final advice for business people who probably are looking forward to these 4 areas, farmer, automotive, agro processing, transport and logistics. So what do we do to get into these opportunities?
Okay, thank you very much. So far, your business is within these sectors, and you are running within the value chain within these sectors. You will be able to have access to this. And specifically, we also give concessions to women-owned businesses because we are part of an alliance called AFAWA, that's Affirmative Finance Action for Women in Africa, where we try to reduce that financing gap between men-owned businesses and women-owned businesses. Therefore, these loans, you have $2 to $25,000. That one does not require additional collateral. But when you are not taking any amount that is more than $25,000 equivalent in the local currencies, you will now need to do more. The support, the advice I would like to give is be free to go to UBA branches across the country just to get this information. It's there, we've already started giving, and for Nigeria, total 6 billion, 1.2 billion is devoted to Nigeria for the next 3 years, and it's available for us to be able to do better. What we are looking at in Africa is that we want to be self-sufficient. Where we've been importing so much, we want to be able to produce those things. We will be able to give all the necessary support for players within those sectors and within those value chains to be able to do better within the country. And everyone is free. In fact, everyone is free to play it. If you've gone abroad and you are very good with the payment system, it's what we call PAPS now, Pan-African Payment Settlement System, which we are using to drive this initiative across African countries. Presently, 5 countries in Africa, they are live. Nigeria included and Ghana included. What is this PAPS meant to do? PAPS is meant to encourage payment across African countries such that you don't need to convert to dollars before you buy anything from an African country. At any point in time, you pick a particular goods that you want to buy from your supplier or from the counterpart in another country. You have the conversion rate between the 2 currencies, and you can get that conversion and make your payment directly. And that part is there. And we are also looking for other people who will partner, who are within the payment space, to also come in to improve the payment across Africa, to be able to ensure that trade is encouraged amongst ourselves. I think that will be my advice and my final word. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Thank you. So can we have your final statement?
So that we want to seek foreign opportunity and and would really wish that the Oyo State government funds such opportunity through scholarship. Would like to advise that you look into the areas. It could be the same course of study, but some certain areas where you don't necessarily have that course here in Nigeria, and you can bring it through the Office of the Student Affairs in your state. Will help you drive it, and I assure you that the state government, through His Excellency is ready to approve opportunities like this for your students.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Yes, it's appreciated. Thank you so much. So, Prof, we will run off with you, but someone is asking a question here. I don't know whether you want to help. That there are some individuals with first class bachelor's degree who can proceed directly to a PhD program abroad. Is this part still applicable? It's true.
Yes, it's true. Most universities in the US do offer that pathway. And my final word, I'll encourage you, the opportunities are there. Scholarship opportunities, loans, grants, they are there. But you need to painstakingly prepare your application. And that means you need to start early. Don't do lastminute.com. It won't help you, because the requirements and the process might be a bit tedious. But if you start early, you'll be able to focus on the details that the funders are looking for, rather than you just glossing over and saying, I still have time, I can do it. No. If you start to prepare your applications early, you have a good grade, you can be sure that you can access these opportunities. So I would encourage students who want to travel abroad, start your preparations early, and it starts with you coming out of the degree. Then start to prepare your applications early. Look for these opportunities because they exist. And I wish you all the best. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Round of applause for the panelists for this session. Can you please appreciate them? Let's appreciate them. Everyone. Thank you. Let's appreciate them.